Hi, I'm Heather from Heather Handmade, and today I am going to teach you how to make a cute and easy cupcake costume. Please like this video and follow my channel for lots of fun sewing and fun costumes. For this cupcake costume, you're going to need a white long sleeve t-shirt, some white felt, a headband, some rib knit fabric. This is to look like the cup, the paper cup that holds a cupcake. So a rib knit is the fabric that has the lines that go vertically. I'm going to use a bunch of felt balls for the sprinkles, but you can use iron-on vinyl or a marker or anything that you would like to use instead. Now we're going to make the shape of the frosting on the top. So open up your felt so that it's one layer. And then I'm going to lay the t-shirt right on top. So the goal is to make kind of a frosting wiggly shape on one side, and it will come up with a shoulder and a neckline, and then I will fold it over to the other side and get the same shape for the back. So this is the top part, this is the frosting, and what we're going to do is fold it over like this. You can see the armhole and the neck hole. And we are going to pin these sides and then sew them with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So turn the top frosting right side out. Now I'm going to cut out 3 different strips of felt. And I'm going to make them kind of wavy like this. Now that these are cut out, I'm going to sew a basting stitch right through the middle, but I'm going to hold my finger right behind the sewing machine foot as I'm sewing, so it'll kind of bunch it up as I'm sewing, and then I won't have to pull any thread, and I only want it a little bit gathered, to kind of make it flare out and kind of wavy on the edges to look like frosting. We're going to pin on our frosting. So I'm starting at the bottom edge, and we're going to make this go around the top. We're going to make this kind of wrap around the top, just like frosting kind of wraps around. And the wiggly, we made a wiggly edges, and our top is wiggly, so it makes it kind of look like frosting. Now I'm going to just sew with a straight stitch along the middle line where I already sewed, and I'm going to just keep going around and around until all of these little frosting ruffles are sewn to the top. I am going to cut off the hem of the t-shirt. I'm going to cut a skirt out of the rib knit fabric that will be sewn onto the bottom of the white t-shirt, and I want this skirt to be gathered so that there's a good amount of volume. So I'm going to actually use the full width of the fabric. That's about a 2-to-1 ratio, and that's the ratio I want to have a lot of gathers right here at the bottom of the skirt. So I'm just going to mark the length that I want and just cut a big long rectangle. So the first thing I'm going to do is pin this edge together and sew this. And turn it so that the right side of the skirt is up on top of the t-shirt, and you're going to divide up both the skirt and the t-shirt into 4 equal sections and then match them up, and then slowly go through and pin in between. You can also choose to gather the knit fabric to make it easier to sew onto the t-shirt, but I'm just going to be pinning it on because the top won't be seen very much. Now I'm going to cut out a little tiny white triangle that will be sewn onto the headband, and this is just the tip of the frosting that will be, on the head of my daughter. I'm going to pin the 2 sides together, leave the flat, the bottom edge open. You only want to do the sides, and you're going to do a small 1/4 inch seam allowance. This is the little frosting hat, the little tip. So I'm trimming the corner. Now I'm turning it right side out. And you might need to use something to poke out this point. Try not to poke a hole in your fabric. Now I'm just going to put a little bit of stuffing in here to fill it out. Now fold in the edges. You want to have kind of a flat closed edge like this. So I am going to pin it a little bit just to keep it in place. Now I'm going to just tack this little piece of frosting to the top of this headband, just kind of thread wrapping it. This is just to keep it in place. So I've divided up the felt balls into front, back, and the ones going on the top of the head. And I'm just going to take a hand needle and some thread and just sew each one on. I'm just going to do kind of like an X, just a really quick way to sew it on.